Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Crouching Tiger, Hidden the Dragon podcast. So, if you've been listening now, we are now over 50 episodes, and I've been talking to business leaders across Asia. And today we have someone from Hong Kong. It's my second guest from Hong Kong. So, she wears many hats, and I'm about to read to you a few of her roles. Number one, we will talk a lot to her about Aello Consulting. All right, so that she is the founder and CEO of Aello Consulting. So looking at her LinkedIn, there's so many roles. In Indonesia, she is the director of Asia Branding and Franchising Association. And she's also the marketing and public relations advisor for Thrive Hong Kong, a charitable organization, and consulting director as well for Center for Leadership Studies. So we have April Lam with us. And today, our main focus, she has many hats, but our main focus today is more on expansion to Southeast Asia. And maybe we talk a little bit about branding as well. April, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bob. So nice to be on your show. You've done so much amazing work, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Thank you so much, April. So for our guests, my first question would be, what is your favorite Kung Fu movie?
Oh my God. As a Chinese, we grew up watching so many Kung Fu movies. I think if I really have to pick something, that would be the one from Bruce Lee, the very all-time classic. And then Ip Man by Donnie Yen, because I'm always a big fan of Donnie Yen. So anything that he acts, I'll think that's the best.
Yes, thank you, April. So you're my second guest from Hong Kong, just the second one. Uh, so
Thank
uh,
you.
so Hong Kong is the heart of Kung Fu movies. So
Yeah,
have you
it is.
have
It
you
is.
have you had any encounters with any movie stars, or have you seen a movie being shot in Hong Kong itself?
Yeah. In real, actually, no. But of course, all those scenes we're very familiar with in Hong Kong. And I also got asked questions. Oh, have you ever met those Chinese celebrities in real? I have met Chow Yun-fat in real,
Oh,
in Central, and I remember exactly how it happened. So yeah, you do get chances to meet celebrities in Hong Kong.
all right. Chow Yun-fat is one of my favorite actors. Of course, we I love his movie, the God of Gamblers, I believe is the English translation, but
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Cantonese is Dousan.
Those are
Anyway,
yeah.
yes, it's the most iconic movie ever of a
Yeah.
gambling movie. So like in the media, he's always portrayed as someone humble, like someone who takes the
He
bus.
is.
He
He
is.
is.
He is.
He
Oh, he
is.
is.
Yes.
Oh my God! I thought he
When
was a
yeah.
legend.
I think, well, not just me, quite a lot of my friends met him when they went hiking in the mountains because he's a big fan of hiking. When I met him, I was actually in a visiting a museum that was just newly opened. And he was around the museum area, surrounded by a bunch of fans who wanted to take photo and ask for signatures. He was very polite. He smiled at everyone, and he tried to entertain everyone as possible. So I was really impressed that what's real is not just propaganda.
Wow, thank you so much. April, okay, on my to-do list now, go hiking in Hong Kong and meet Chow Yun-fat. Okay, all right. Thank you so much. All right, so I've watched a few of your past interviews in preparation for today, and you talked all
Mhm.
about ASEAN. And one of the interviews I saw was you talked about tips of market entry into Indonesia. So right now in
Yeah.
2023, it's a very exciting year for ASEAN. I'm here and I hear a lot of activity. I hear about Elon Musk. I hear about so many companies coming into Asia. So like, what are you excited
Hmm.
about ASEAN in this year?
Oh, so many things. I actually started traveling to Southeast Asia since 2007. That was my first time in Indonesia. So over the past more than 1 decade, I have seen rapid changes in this region. And now today I'm based in Bali in Indonesia. And so I've also got a lot of in-market experiences. Based on all the figures that you might have read, we all know that huge population here, 680 million people in whole ASEAN, and then a lot of young, technology savvy, digital savvy, millennials, and the mobile ownership rate is very high. People are very much into e-commerce shoppings. We know all these nice figures, but let me tell you what I see in real is so much more than that. People here, they're very audacious, they're very entrepreneurial. Of course, the young people they are, but even the mid-age people, they know that their countries are growing, so that everyone have the very positive mindset of moving forward. They have no burden. They would learn whatever that comes in. And whenever there's a new app or a new platform, they would just, okay, let's try it. Let's adapt it. So this is exactly the spirit that I find very exciting when I'm in the market to see it day to day.
Thank you, Apple. Yes, oh, good to know you're in Bali at the moment. I had a first guest from Indonesia last week called Johnny Widodo.
Mhm.
The episode is out right now. He's the CEO
Oh,
of
okay.
Ringan, and he told me
Mhm.
like in Indonesia, have 270 million people somewhere around there, and if you had
Yeah,
1%, if 1% were entrepreneurs, then it's already 3 million. So
exactly.
so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
a huge number of people. So
yeah.
yeah, like you said, they're very entrepreneurial, and they are very open to new technology. So as a company, maybe share with us, as a company, how does AO help with expanding to ASEAN?
Okay. When talking about ASEAN, it sounds like one entity, but it's actually about 11 countries. So each of them has their own language, their own culture, their own economic spending levels, and et cetera, and et cetera. So to help companies to enter ASEAN, we need to have a very clear strategy. Are, are you looking at Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore? Or you're actually looking at Brunei, Laos, Cambodia. These two would mean very different direction. So we help our clients to understand their strategic road mapping. And then which cities should they enter first? Just Indonesia alone, there are more than 10,000 islands. How should we map the entrance in order to have higher success rate for your business and costs and whatnot? And then the other thing is most Southeast Asian countries except Singapore, are not completely free economies, meaning either the foreign companies need to have a local entity or you need to have a local joint venture partners or distributors in order for your products to enter. So this become a very big hurdle that if a foreign company, let's say that is from UAE and they know nobody in Indonesia, how are they going to find that local partner? And that's where exactly we come in. We help them to identify the right targets. We connect them to have a fruitful conversations, manage all the negotiations, help them to understand the import duty, regulations, compliance, and tax and everything, so that the clients would be very clear in order to enter this market. These are our costs. These are the resources that we need to prepare, and these are the ways to succeed. And of course, once their products land in ASEAN, we would help them in the long term to support their marketing from digital media, KOL, and PR, and etc. So this is what we are trying to build an end-to-end market entry approach.
Thank you, April. And maybe my next question would be like, where do these companies come from when they get your help? And are they mostly from a specific industry?
Right. That's a good question. We got asked this a lot. We have clients from India, Pakistan, UAE, Canada, Australia, Hong Kong, China. So pretty much there are possibilities everywhere. And one thing I noticed in the past 2 years is that Middle East countries are highly interested in Indonesia and Malaysia due to the same religion. So there's a lot of familiarity and in terms of behavior and mindset or even the flavors in choice of food could be quite similar as well. So we have quite a lot of inquiries from UAE companies. And the others would be from Singapore and Hong Kong because there are government funding supporting SME from these countries to expand to Southeast Asia. I'm not sure if you heard about it. So it really helped the companies to increase their ROI, reduce their entrance costs, and that has become a very good incentive and triggers to a lot of companies.
Yes, I've heard of that grant. I know a few cafes who expanded because of that grant as well. And
Nice.
any specific industries that those companies are from?
Mhm. We work a lot with FMCG companies, meaning food, beauty, baby products, pharmaceutical, OTC, and lifestyle products. So these are what we are very strong at. We have also got experience working with services industry like executive coaching or wellness consultants, but our core is really FMCG or any kind of consumer products.
Thank you for sharing, April. All right. So like if a client comes to you today and asks, hey, I'm looking to expand to ASEAN, but can you tell us why we should really invest in that region?
Yeah. I think you have mentioned the number one point is the sheer size of the population, and that's higher possibility of winning and getting business. The other one is that if we look at the global economy right now, there are very limited regions that provide such extent of growth opportunities, and then plus the funding that reduce your cost. So I think these factors are good enough to have a start. But of course, in order to really succeed, we need to understand the market first, whether there is the right product market fit. Thus, is there a demand for your products in this region? Are your prices right? What is the competition like? Then that is exactly what we try to help, and we call that market assessment.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. It is one of the most exciting markets that I heard of this year, and it's quite diverse. And I'm based in Malaysia as well, so our government,
Yeah.
it's very aggressive. Our new government is very aggressive when it comes to this. When you help companies with this market entry into this, what is your strategy? How do you start?
So the first step is to understand the product market fit. That is the most important. If let's say someone from UAE, they sell bottled water and they want to enter Indonesia, I'm sorry, there are already a lot of competitions and brands that have much better advantages. So this is the step one. If we don't see the right match, we would also honestly tell the clients. And if the basic assessment is passed, then we would look at the next thing, which is the strategic road mapping. Among the 11 ASEAN countries, which one should you start first? Or the client would say, we have so much resources that we can enter 11 countries in one go. That is also fantastic. But we have to have this step to understand our clients' resources. How long and how far could they go on this journey in terms of, do they have the right internal manpower? Are they willing to invest? What would be the projected volume, the sales that they're looking at? Then we can determine what would be the right sales strategy for them.
Yeah, thank you. And is there like, it really depends. Like I like your example just now, from companies in the Middle East, they love to enter Malaysia and Indonesia because we have the same national religion, and the majority of the taste and the products are quite similar. So what about the countries in Indochina, like the Vietnams and the Cambodias? What are your thoughts on that part of ASEAN?
Those countries also have a lot of potentials. For example, we would group Thailand and Myanmar and as one region. Malaysia and Brunei would also be similar in terms of consumer behavior. So this is how we build the strategies. Vietnam is quite standalone in terms of consumer behavior, mindset, and the things that they like. And the spending power is also slightly different. It's in between, is slightly lower than Indonesia, but higher than Laos and Cambodia. So I think each market has their own potential, regardless of the spending power. Again, it's about what your product is and what would be the best match. I think in general, regulations, changing policy, changing governance is also a challenge in Southeast Asia. So as consultant, we need to be very aware of the political climate as well. For example, next year there will be elections in Indonesia. Then we need to be very aware of how that would affect people's buying momentum, and thus how that would impact the e-commerce and then the retails And the same thing for Vietnam. I think since late last year, there were very strict regulations on import products. So there were heavier import duties and then more requirements on the cross-border e-commerce as well. So these are the factors we always try to explain to our clients, and don't just look at ASEAN as one piece. There are actually 11 pieces there.
Thank you so much. Having traveled around ASEAN quite a lot, I was in Singapore last week. I was in Indonesia 2 months ago. So it's very in ASEAN we have this phrase. It's used in many countries. It's called same but different. So
yes, exactly, same but different.
in Thailand we have that. You can actually buy that T-shirt in Thailand. Same but different.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
it's,
I didn't get that.
I think it's a Thai phrase. But it's been used in Indonesia and Malaysia as well. It's we say
So
same but different. I think that's
so
the
true.
slogan for ASEAN. We are same in a lot of ways, but we're also different. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing so much information, April. So maybe can you share with us a success story, or maybe a product or service that expanded in ASEAN?
Yeah. So we have this client from Pakistan, and they're a listed confectionery company in Pakistan. Basically, they're the largest confectionery manufacturer there. They have candies, chips, and nuts, and chocolate bar, and all that. So the interesting thing is they have already expanded to more than 30 countries around the world. So you name it, Africa, all countries in the Middle East, Eastern Europe, but just not Southeast Asia. So when they came to us, I found it, wow, that's very interesting. First of all, they have got proven success that their products work for multiple markets, behaviors and pricing and all that. Second is that they are so ready and so determined to enter multiple Southeast Asian countries. And so we started the project with them actually last year. And then now we are approaching to launch their products in Indonesia as the first flagship market. So you might think, why does it take so long? You started last year and now it's already September. That's exactly the challenge of Southeast Asia, is that the process is usually slightly longer compared with other developed markets because of the regulations, because of finding the right local partners, because we need to get the right license, the halal certification, the food and safety permit and all that. And that's why it takes so long. And during this process, we worked very well with the Pakistani client, and they also sent a team, and we visited the market together to KL, Singapore, Bangkok, and Jakarta. And so we are very proud of this case. We're very happy for the clients. We work directly with the CEO, who is very highly engaged in every single new market that the brand enters. So this is, I would say this is our best case so far.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So a confectionery brand. So thank you so much for that. I think the only person that does not go through all that is probably Elon Musk, and he just talks to the prime minister. inside joke there, but it's a very extreme case study. That one is even in Malaysia. So recently he set up the Starlink, which is his internet company, and normally you need local partnership to set up a company in Malaysia, but he just talked to the prime minister. And
he doesn't need, exactly.
He's Elon Musk. anyway. So thank you for sharing that. I believe there's a lot of opportunity in the region, and you said it's 11 pieces. So we need experts like you to break it down. And speaking from personal experience, every single country is different, and it's unfortunately to say, there's not a lot of transparency as well in countries like Malaysia. So I'll speak for Malaysia itself. Not a lot of transparency. You need to know the right people. It's very important to know the right people, I would say, in Southeast Asia.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you so much. And maybe can you share with us, like, how do you become an expert in ASEAN? Like you said, it's 11 different countries, and you require 11 sets of local expertise. It's so different, same but different, as I said. So how do you become an expert in 11 different countries?
Well, to be honest with everyone, I don't know 11 countries at the same level of savviness. So our company actually focuses on five key markets: Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, and Vietnam. So if you can conquer these five markets, you basically get 70 to 80% of sales in the whole ASEAN for FMCG products. And so how did I start? Because before I started my own company, I worked in uh, multiple luxury retailers and brand consultancy firms before. And so I started traveling to Southeast Asia in 2007 to multiple countries and worked with local companies. And that's how I started to build my knowledge in market entry and to understand the consumer behaviors. And in end of 2019, right at the beginning of pandemics, I sort of got a sense that the world economy and business would change. And so I realized that I had to move to Indonesia. Back then, I was actually in Hong Kong. I thought, okay, let's set up something in Indonesia and help people to enter this part of the world that is going to be uh, booming and much more than emerging. So it sort of proved that I my sense was right. Our business did pretty well during the 3 years of pandemics. However, as pandemics ended, a lot of companies travel again and they would like to see the market by themselves. So it actually brings us new set of challenges. How do we continue the growth after pandemics?
All right, thank you, April. And yeah, so this leads us very nicely into your experience in the luxury and retail. So you're also the director of Asia Branding and Franchising Association. So like, tell us a bit about your experience. So you said you held a lot of local businesses, right? So when it comes to luxury retail, of course, we know all the brands in from Europe, all the Chanels, all the Gucci's that we know. So how is it like luxury branding different in Asia?
I see. I think in most part of Southeast Asia, people still see luxury products as brand names need to come first, and then it's a status symbol. Although it's moving towards the lifestyle direction, but then the status and the social class is still a very strong element playing in the market. But we have also seen the younger generations, millennials, Gen Z, and etc. They would perceive luxury products in a very different way. They would associate a big brand with an individual that they admire, meaning the KOL or celebrities. And so if they like that individual, whatever the brand does, they would associate that together. Rather, in my generation, we would still sort of separate these two things. Okay, I like Chow Yun Fat, and let's say he endorsed for Rolex. I'm just making this up. But if I'm not a big fan of Rolex, even though I like Chow Yun Fat, I might not get Rolex. I might get Piaget instead. So we see this type of behavior that brings very drastic impact on marketing, and you're in marketing and I'm sure you noticed this as well. So it impacts the way we run our digital marketing plan, how we pick the KOL for all types of endorsement, and how we need to multiply the platforms, the digital platforms, in order to trying to acquire all types of customers that who might like different KOLs. So I think this is the biggest trend I have observed.
Thank you. And do you have experience with, let's say, luxury brands here in ASEAN, like the local brands? Do you know any local luxury brands that have um, expanded successfully?
Mm. We work mostly with brands outside of ASEAN,
Mm-hmm.
so I haven't got that part of experience yet, but I would love to work with any. If you have, if one of your audience is listening and have the interest, let's have a chat.
Yeah, it's interesting the thing that you shared in terms of the KOLs, that yeah, the younger generation look up to the KOLs. It's not so much the brand, where the previous generation look up to the brand itself. It's
Yeah,
more
yeah.
more it's more more important to the individual rather than the KOL. So very interesting as well. And I imagine in Southeast Asia there are a lot of KOLs from Singapore to Malaysia to Indonesia. KOLs are a big industry indeed.
Yeah.
Do you have like maybe a story of how you work with a KOL in a KOL campaign in Southeast Asia?
Oh, we do. We have worked with fashion KOL. We have worked with chef for promoting one of our clients. It's a premium kitchenware. So we hired the chef who is originally from Malaysia, but living in Singapore.
Oh, okay.
And then we bring him to Bali.
Oh.
So it's very regional and very international for a German brand. So you see how it plays out in this part of the world. And then we engage him for a live cooking show, meeting other food KOLs, meeting the potential customers, and then make it a very interesting media event. I think for KOL campaign in Southeast Asia, if we really want it to be successful, there needs to be a lot of face time as well. Unlike, let's say, in Hong Kong, people might not expect to meet the KOL in person, but here, once the customers get to talk to you, people here are very sociable, very friendly. Once they get to take a selfie with the KOL and get to talk to you, they would be so hooked with the brand. So I think that's something that I find very interesting as well.
Oh, thank you. That is very interesting observations across the region. Yes, KOLs play a very big part in the marketing in this region. Now I start to see it as well. All right. So thank you so much. Maybe let's end with this question. Thank you so much for being on the pod and sharing your insights. We have a good discussion here on ASEAN. Maybe like as you said just now, like after the pandemic has ended and a lot of potential clients started traveling. So what are you excited about when it comes to Aello Consulting in your work with Aello Consulting and expanding in the region as well?
I see. Now we're very excited as people start to come into the market and see the post-pandemic economic recovery. They have a better sense of why they should be here. So it's actually of our advantage. However, what we need to, what we would like the clients or anyone who want to be here to know is that entering a new market nowadays is a lot easier than, let's say, 5 years ago. There are multiple ways. Besides looking for partners, you can also do cross-border e-commerce. You can also drive traffic to your global official website through local PR activities and through online advertising. So the costs are actually much, much lower. I think most people might not realize, and they might still want to stick with, I'm going to open my own company there and hire people there. I would say that is actually a very costly way without knowing your sales. So market entry is a lot easier and could be quite convenient if you find the right person to help you. But do a lot of prior research is a must. Don't be overly ambitious, and visit the market more. And even Indonesia last year and this year could be very different. So do a lot of homework.
Yes, thank you so much. So for the listeners, please connect with April on LinkedIn. That's how I asked her to be on the podcast. So if you have any questions or if you are looking to expand into ASEAN, so please do reach out to her about these services. And of course, she has a lot of experience with retail luxury brands as well. So do reach out to her on that. April, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks so much, Bob. So nice to talk to you today.
Thank you so much.